What up, brother?
What is going on?
Living the dream, or whatever I think is the dream, I guess.
One freaking nightmare at a time lately.
Well, yeah, that's life, right? Got to bury a hamster yesterday. That was fun.
Oh, hamster funerals. Miss those.
Yeah. So we're leveling up to guinea pig this time because they live 5 to 7 years instead of 1 to 3 years. So we're hoping for a little bit longer streak before the tragedy strikes this time. But yeah, we're at a new time. We're doing the same kind of thing, right? I'm glad to be back. I don't know. We'll see how good viewership is in the middle of a Wednesday. But yeah. How have you been other than dealing with the trials and tribulations of being an insurance broker in Medicare? That good, huh? All right.
ER trip over the weekend.
Yeah.
My wife's still trying to die on me. Mad that I won't let her.
She probably should knock that off.
That's what I said.
So, yeah, I wanted to kind of focus on OEP and rest of year and try to encourage a few extra folks to jump on for the upcoming boot camp series that's coming. Starts in February. 3 sets of boot camps this year to really help people level up and learn what we do on a year-round basis to, I don't know, how many apps you've written this month?
I have no idea. Not that many. Well, 15, 20 maybe.
Yeah, so you say not that many, 15, 20. Everybody else is like, I wish I could do 3. That's what they call the top 1%, I think. I heard a rumor that's what it is. That 1%, the top 1% is hard to get to, hard to be, hard to stay. But in reality, we have opportunities to share things differently. This year, I think. I don't know how you feel about things, but I don't know. How many times we heard the sky is falling in our career?
No. Yeah.
At least 10, 15. But what are you dealing with now? Are you dealing mostly with customer service? Or are you dealing most with trying to help people that are in bad spots from AEP, educating about OEP? What are you?
I don't know. Almost feels like an extension of AEP right now with the amount of hours I'm putting in because it's a combination of all that.
Yeah.
The government entities dropping the ball is really starting to get frustrating.
Well, that's what makes it tough, right? I wonder. I don't think I shared this thing.
And a gal that I set up a med sup for January. I think it was a January effective date for her. She was loss of coverage, loss of employer coverage, retiring. She's top tier IRMA. And then they're trying to deny her because Medicaid put her on Medicaid for December. She's making over $500,000 a year, but you're going to put her on Medicaid.
Well, that makes sense. Doesn't it?
Yeah. It totally makes sense.
I hit the wrong button. That's what I hit. Well, what are you doing for yourself?
Just working, taking care of the family.
Well, that's not for yourself. Are you going on your trip to Istanbul or wherever the hell it is? Pakistani, Bangkok, or I forget.
Call it Bangkok for a reason. No. Philippines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to go meet with my buddy to talk about going over all that later on. So
Good. So we're in a voting year. We're in a leap year. We're in
the nonsense going on with the demographic change here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on and are changing, and our opportunity to serve is there. I'm in a weird transition that I don't know if I like it yet or not, because I'm still in the transition. Wow, I haven't seen your hair like that for a while.
Yeah, right.
What's going on? You got a rat tail back there too? Holy shit!
Oh, it's starting to get the mullet though. It's starting to ducktail on me here. So
Nice.
I have to go shave that.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I finally figured out today where all of the leads I've been generating went. They've just been kind of like, think of like I found a way to turn on like one of the best activity opportunity pipelines I've ever done on my own, and then the leads just were piling in, lead after lead. Like we're talking hundreds and hundreds of leads a month, just going into nowhere. Because the connection with the CRM somehow got cross-wired. So just today, unhooking it and rehooking it back up, all of a sudden now it works again. But when I was looking at if I just look at the numbers, I just want to go over some of these numbers because I'm going to show you how to do this, or I'm going to get you in on this with mine because there's no way. God bless Ty, and I'm trying to recruit another 2 or 3 LOAs, but we're talking hundreds and hundreds of leads. And I'm only paying $1.89 a piece this month. $1.89 a piece. 354 leads I've generated since January 1st.
It's not bad.
If I look at December, 467 leads at $1.94 a piece. So I spent $900 for 500 leads, basically.
It's not bad.
And those are the kind of economics. Now, the cool part is we spent some time today, we being the staff at Bobby Brock Insurance and I, going through our CRM with GoGuru and getting everything reconfigured and set up correctly. Where now I'm going to be doing several things. And what I would say is with some of the stuff that's coming up, there's changes in FCC rulings, there's changes in all kinds of crap. But in essence, if you don't generate your own leads and activity, you're going to die on the vine as an insurance agent in Medicare, because they're going to remove all the way, like the days of just calling another company and allowing them to do all the leads for you. I'm going to say it's going to go away completely, because I think those lead companies are going to pivot and adapt and make adjustments. But what is going to happen is leads are going to become more expensive. Leads are going to become higher quality with higher intent, and it should be an overall improvement for everything. To bomb diggity. I just noticed that. That's funny. But yeah, leads are the lifeline, especially for like the systems that you and I run with hardcore business to business marketing with financial planners and food banks and churches and all those other entities that you and I over the years have partnered with to create models of activity for ourselves. I'm convinced at this point that the 80-20 rule, like 80% of the agents don't flat have the skills to do that. Or maybe it's not the skills, maybe it's the discipline, maybe they don't have the follow-up, maybe they're usually missing some ingredients. And so leads become even more and more important, especially if you're trying to help others and scale in any way. Then you got to have some kind of gas pedal that you can, because like for me, I'm just testing it out. I was spending $30 a day. I'm going to step it up to $50 a day and see what happens. See if I can control this lead flow. And also now I have 600 leads a month or something. Because if I can do that, then I'll just start hiring agents as fast as I can and try to help as many factory workers and truckers and other hardworking people that deserve a better life and a better living get out of the factory, out of the truck or whatever, and into an office where life is good.
Well, I think the one thing that I've noticed start changing with the industry, as I've seen a lot of agents come through, has been that lack of discipline, the lack of ethics, the lack of follow-up, knowledge base, skill set. Starting to see a lot more dropout. And of course, whenever we have the changes and someone upsets the apple cart, those type type of things tend to happen. I mean, back in in 15 or whatever, right? When the ACA came in and everything changed, you saw a whole ton of people just jump out of the health side entirely.
That was back in 08. It's crazy how long ago that was.
Is that really that long ago?
Yeah, it was Obama, bro. Obamacare.
Oh,
Obama, your mama.
I'm old.
That was a couple presidents ago, son. But yeah, no, and that's the point. That is, if you think of the Medicare space like an ocean, because there's waves. It's the stuff comes. Sometimes it's calm. Some years it's turbulent. And the turbulence comes from storms. Could be storms that are caused by the healthcare system, the doctor's offices, the hospitals, that kind of stuff. It could be storms caused by the government. It could be storms caused by agents. It could be storm caused by the clients. I mean, there's so many different things that go into the whole equation, and everybody's pointing fingers and blah blah blah. This is bad, or this is good, and that kind of infighting is going to be double time on a voting year. But for me, that kind of turbulence creates opportunity, and those that lean into the storm get out of the storm faster and get more benefit from having gone through the storm versus being wiped out by the storm. If you just try to hide from this, there's no hiding from a storm. Can we all agree to that? The storm comes. If a storm's going to hit you, it's going to hit you. And as an agent, controlling your lead flow and having a strategy and having a system to follow and having support and having all of the above, and they might cut the kneecaps off of uplines. What, most agents out there are like riding in a dinghy tied to the upline. And so if the upline ship gets sunk, now you have a bunch of little dinghies floating around there's huge disruption potential coming up in the marketplace. And those that are poised, those that are prepared, those that have a plan, those that have a system and a process to follow are gonna eat heavy. And those that don't are gonna wonder why they're out of the business. And the tough times make for opportunity every single time.
And I don't understand that whole concept there of why they're trying to eliminate the whole hierarchy structuring.
Well, the government is expert at going after money. And so when they see piles of money and flows of money, whether they're deserved or not, they still try to get more than their fair share in some level. And so and it's if you haven't noticed in your career, they're just round robin. It's either the insurance agents are the enemy, or the insurance companies are the enemy, or sometimes the government's the enemy. So over the years, the enemy switches, and that's done on purpose to increase confusion. And this, again, this is my opinion. I guess I have to preface all this with this is my opinion, but we as brokers have a duty and responsibility to perform in a manner and way that makes us, there's no such thing as irreplaceable, but wanted, desired, and needed. Like if your client base isn't wanting, desiring, and needing you, then you're doing it wrong. Because the service is where all the effort is made and money is earned, but there's too many agents out there that don't do the service. They outsource the service to the carrier. And I don't know. That's, to me, it's like the same thing in a difference of having to go from one facility to another. You have to go to one place to get the exam, one place to get the x-ray, another place to get the surgery done. Like if you're going through this series of places versus a one-stop shop facility or a smoother process, if there's no such thing as a one-stop shop, who's the concierge? Who's the personal liaison taking that client through the process from A to B to make sure that they get the pre-authorization, to make sure that everything works correctly? Well, the insurance companies don't have the staff to do that. And so that's where our role needs to expand. And if you're looking on how to take AEP and then take a vacation, and after that roll into OEP and still have opportunity and growth without being able to advertise, without being able to market, you have to change focus and tactics. It's kind of like you can't use the same bait summer fishing that you can ice fishing. I mean, you can, I guess. I guess you could stand out on the ice and throw a Rapala on the surface and drag it along the ice, see if you catch an eagle or something. But yeah, I mean, through the seasons changing, through the time of year that goes through, this business is a cycle business. You have OEP, you have rest of year, and you have AEP. Then you have SEP, which is rest of year. So there's 3 or 4 areas you can focus on when you're doing that. You can focus on T65. You can focus on low income. You can focus on referral partnerships, either through your own clients or through partnerships throughout the community, or both. Or you can buy leads or generate. And I should correct myself. You need to learn how to generate leads, because I've bought leads, and then generating leads is way more exciting.
Oh, and buying leads is, I mean,
I don't know about you, but my
15
experience
years ago it was
trash.
the way to go.
Yeah.
15 years ago, you buy a lead, like when we used to get the pink leads, like that was the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you didn't have all the marketing resources, the tools, everything else. The platforms weren't set up and designed for that, for where everything was at. So you had to go through it. Now that pond has been kind of overfished, buying your own leads just really doesn't work anymore.
No.
Or, I mean, buying leads doesn't work anymore. You got to start generating your own personal stream of business.
You got to learn how to attract business to you
and build your own fishery instead of going out and fishing a public pond that's been over.
Create your own ecosystem, 100%. So what do you think our strategy, like your top strategy that you would employ if you had to start all over today?
The video that I sent you yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
No. Although that would be epic. Yeah, no, if I had to start all over again, I mean, the referral partnerships and the community generation is just way too valuable not to put the focus in.
So we got a question. Do y'all use GHL for lead management? No, we use Go Guru for our system. At least I do. I got to get Tyler up to speed. Firstly, I get me up to speed, and then I'm going to get Tyler up to speed. But he's agreeing, I'm not. So I'm just going to pass you off to Will, and Will whip you into shape. But no, the tools that are available in a good CRM, like Go Guru, is pretty substantial. Like for me, that would be the first step. Is if I had to start all over again, make sure that I'm aligned correctly with the right resources and people behind me, and have the right mentor in place as quickly as possible.
Right resources. I mean, the difference between, like, when we were kids, we used to go out and try and like just randomly knock doors to mow lawn, shovel snow, whatever we had to do to try to get enough money to go and get a video game or buy a
car. Yeah.
Try to do that stuff. I mean, set up your garage, buy the equipment, have all the tools there so that you can go out and do the work and properly produce and grow the business. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm getting really burnt out on. It's working in my business rather than on my business.
100%. Yeah. There is burnout is real. Even if you're having fun, even if you're good at it, you got to do things to get refreshed. You got to do things to reset. You got to do things to not get bogged down mentally. That's probably the biggest challenge in the business and in life, is staying persistent, consistent with discipline, even when it sucks, even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel good. Like I can't describe to people that's never been super anemic, iron deficient, and vitamin D deficient on the tails of a heart attack. And like literally, I feel like I've had a full day by the time I hit 11 a.m. every single day. And finally I got my damn insurance. They're so sneaky. So I scheduled, I had my deductible met twice last year. And so I was like, all right, well, once I got the lab back saying I was iron deficient and anemic, was like, well, let's get the damn infusion set up again because the infusions worked the time before. And so I was like, well, let's do it before the end of the year because I've already got my deductible satisfied. So then Anthem over the phone tells the cancer center that it's declined, but at the same time mails me a letter dated December 27th, but I don't receive it until like January 21st saying, oh, it's approved. So of course, now that it's January, I got to meet the damn deductible again. But it's just proof positive that even those in the business get screwed over by the insurance companies too, and having an advocate fix it is important. And so, but the point I'm making is find your level of groove, and sometimes you're going to have to push harder because I think you would agree you had to push harder 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago than you do now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, this morning I felt like crap trying to drag my ass out of bed. I don't know.
Yeah.
We had stomach flu, something going along, and it's just like trying to get up. And it was like there was that thought for a minute, like,
so
F it. Call your assistant and tell her to reschedule the 3 appointments. Do the podcast from the bed on your phone and just stay here all day.
Why didn't you then?
Because I got stuff to do.
Yeah, so
I have goals. I want to accomplish stuff. I hate having stuff on the plate. I know that as bad as I felt then, I'd feel even worse for not doing it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've never been good with that.
Yeah. Regrets a mofo. But yeah, let's like I try to think of, we either want to be entertaining or educational on this podcast. And I mean, Medicare and being a Medicare agent is probably like the least entertaining subject matter, which is why our viewership fluctuates between like 1 and 5 people usually. And, I'm curious, like the questions people ask, like that questions y'all use GHL for lead management, the interaction, like I don't know. Are you doing this podcast for you so that you can see yourself on the camera and looking sexy and all that? Or are you trying to give back to the community in some way, shape, or form?
I guess give back to the community if they really want to.
Right. And so those that do watch this or do tune in or don't, what is it that would be of value to you and or entertaining? Because if we need to switch this thing and focus on the fun side of it and talk about, what are you doing for fun nowadays, Tyler?
Fun.
Yeah, fun. Enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
You're old.
I'm old. I don't know. I took Ryan out the other day with the Bronco when we got all the snow. Apparently, the Springville Police Department does not like it when you attempt to mount the snowplow hills in the Walmart parking lot.
Oh, so you play King of the Hill?
Yeah.
What do they say? They try to give you reckless endangerment charges or something?
What are you trying to do? I was like, drive over the snowbank. What did it look like I was trying to do?
Nice.
Like, we shouldn't do that. It's dangerous. I'm like, well, maybe in your little Explorer it is, but I've got the equipment to handle it, so I think we're all right. And the one cop is sitting there just laughing, so I'm just keep going with him, and the other one's just getting pissy, and the one behind him's just sitting there like smirking the whole time, like this is just fun to watch because he knows that the guy couldn't do anything to me about it. No one at Walmart said anything. They just happened to see us jerking around while they drove by.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun. That was entertaining. Not so much the fact that at first when my daughter thought I was going to get arrested, although her thinking I was going to get arrested for it was pretty entertaining watching her break out. Like, we didn't break you. Let's calm down.
Well, for most people, just the presence of police is stressful and threatening. But I don't know. Yeah. If I think about the last few times I've been pulled over, I have a completely different attitude now than I used to, for sure.
I don't know. I remember the first time I got pulled over, I was cruising the loop. and I was in that 91 Cherokee. The cop was pulling me over simply because I didn't turn my headlights on. I just had the running lights on still, and it was dusk. That's all they were stopping me for, is to tell me to turn on my headlights. Totally panic. Almost caused like 3 accidents trying to pull over for them.
Yeah, stress makes us do strange things, and that's why practice and why repetition and why I'm changing my position on scripting. And yeah, so I'm going to be working on a bunch of scripting, and that's going to be part of the boot camps that are coming up, is giving people not just, okay, here's the systems and process of what you need to do, but here's the what you say, the how you do it, the what you the whole thing. I didn't realize how hard scripting is. And in essence, what I've been having to do is just go back and listen to my phone calls. Like, oh yeah, that's what I said. Oh yeah, that's what works so well. Oh yeah. And then you're able to start putting together this thing. Because I
still watch some game tape and see what plays worked.
Ty and I are going to start taking inbound life insurance calls later this week or early next week. And I'm excited to have I feel like Deion Sanders switching from football to baseball or some shit.
Well, hopefully it's like that, and then not like MJ trying to go from basketball to baseball.
Well, I hope so. But part of me, the reason why I'm doing this is, like, I don't tell her one thing I don't have experience in is being new. Like when I was new to this business, I was a secretary. And I had a stable income. When I hit the streets, like as a broker, I had 14 and a half years of PhD level training on how to run an agency. And so it was
more experience when you started than most people ever get.
Right. When I started, I had more experience. And so the dynamics, it's hard for me to put myself in the shoes of someone who's brand new. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just fucking do this? Right. And it's like, well, I don't know how, bro. Like, it's like, well, it's basically like me saying, okay, you want to play basketball, Tyler? Well, here's what you do. You dribble twice to the right, you do a spin move, and then you dunk it. And you're like, what? I don't know how to dunk
this. Yeah. 40's out of shape, no problem.
I don't know how to spin move. I don't know how to dribble. Wait, how do I dribble? And some of these people are, what's a ball? What's the hoop? And that's what I took for granted. And so I'm trying to put myself in that environment by doing life insurance and the focus where I don't feel confident. I don't feel like I have all the overcoming objections, and I'm relying on the script. So in that scenario, when you're new, you need a script. You need a system to follow. You need the recipe. Like before you're like a top dog chef, 5-star chef, you can't just like whip shit up when they say, okay, here's a coconut, a turnip, and a leg off a dog. Make a stew or something. Some of the people can do that without a recipe. But most people, if they want to have good turnout on the food in the back end, they need a recipe to follow. They need to have an ingredients list. They need to know what temperature to put the oven at. They need to know all those little intricate moving parts. And so that's really what I want to start doing. So next week, I'm going to have more preparation. I'm trying to look at StreamYard again. I don't remember what the topic is for next week. However, I'm going to try to structure this in a way that helps people get some of these skills, get some of these scripting things down. We'll do some role playing back and forth. I want to have a lot more guests this year than where it's not just me and you every time. And not that I don't think people think we're awesome, but it can get boring looking and staring at us for 45 minutes to an hour every 2 weeks or a week. But yeah, I
to start stripping, that would help.
I don't know if it would help, but it'd probably get attention.
Probably not the right kind.
No, you probably have a felony. You probably are 1 or 2 viewers is probably under 18 or something. It's some kind of setup or trap. You can't sell Medicare in that scenario. But yeah, it's I'm in a weird place mentally where I think what happened was I took vacation too long. Like people, I kept hearing like, take time off. You got to need to rest. You need to focus on your health. I don't think people understand what I do when I don't work. it's a very, very non-productive life that I lead if I don't have structure and a purpose.
I'm guessing a lot of sports betting, Fortnite.
I had to retire because I got out of hand with sports betting. So I'm temporarily retired from sports betting, video games, going up to the casino, hanging out. I mean, I get more time with the kids and stuff like that, which is fun and important. But I'm not productive, in a sense of I don't feel productive. I guess maybe I am productive. I just don't notice it, but I don't feel productive when I don't have a schedule and a mission and a goal and other people I'm helping and coaching. And it's
I mean, the weekend kicks my ass for that. That's how I got in trouble on Saturday.
No, and here's what's funny, Tyler. I put on my calendar every Friday. I'm taking Fridays off, so I'm working a dentist schedule this year, and I'm only working 4 days a week. But here's what's happened in the last 2 weeks. My schedule's so full on just the 4 days that I'm getting Fridays off, but now I'm having to work Saturdays. I'm like, I don't think this is what I had in mind.
Y'all missed the intention.
I think we missed the memo on how I'm supposed to slow down and all this. But in reality, it's me, because you know, this time of year when you have as many clients as we do, there's a lot of issues that can come up. And people that might need to move from company A to company B or switch plans or do other things that, you got to be adaptable for. So, I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for what the Medicare Machine Factory is going to do. I'm excited to see you get maybe some non-turbulent waters eventually here. Stop paddle boating around.
Yeah, eventually.
But yeah, the team is growing. We've had quite a few people reach out already this year looking for a new home, which, I try to be really selective, probably over selective on who we have on the team. And then there's the other food for thought or idea space, which is hire and recruit as many people as possible, as fast as possible. I don't know what's better or worse, but
I think I don't know.
Just doing it my way feels good. So I like doing everything
where that regulation stuff is coming from, like with the uplines.
Yeah, I know it's scary to keep building, but I guess I've heard wolf too many times. I'm not like, I've seen people alter their whole business plan off of what could be rather than what is.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I think that's where a lot of that stems from, is because people just grab as much shit as they can and throw it against the wall, and 92% of it doesn't stick, right? And then they screw the pooch. They mess stuff up. I'm biased and it's my opinion, but 99% of people working in a damn call center for the 800 numbers are just jerk off sitting there for a paycheck because they're too ignorant, lazy, or stupid to go and actually be a broker. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I've never heard one good thing about someone who's called into a call center and said, oh yeah, they put me on the perfect plan and then they took care of me forever. Like, and so you start having things like that going on. And that's where it's like, I don't blame the government for trying to like reach for whatever they can to put stuff in place. But it's the government. So let's be real. They can't figure out their ass from a hole in the ground, and they don't know the right way to do it. Like, oh, let's put in all these extra scripts and all these disclaimers rather than, I don't know, maybe make sure there's a mandatory servicing clause within the contract so that you can continue to get your commission every month. I don't know. Like, holy shit, what a concept.
Or have some kind of recourse or consequence for not servicing.
Yeah.
So that there can be an AOR change or something. So the dumb shit like having clients beg to be put on a different plan that's not as good for them just so they can get away from a bad agent. There's definitely problems within it. But I think there's enough good characters. But the problem is most of the good characters are quiet when it comes to this kind of shit. We need to be noisy, and we need what we really need is we need the clients to advocate for our value, which is
the lady I helped this morning. She's on a federal retiree plan. complete trash coverage at this point in time from the service that she was doing, like spending way more than what it was. And she's like, I would have been way better off on my husband's plan. It would save me like $4,000 last year. I was like, yep. And that's with having stuff done. And so she wanted to change for this year. So we move her over. Well, OPM drops the ball and she doesn't get the plan because they never notified Medicare that she suspended the federal coverage. So now she's only got A and B because they finally pushed it through 2 days ago, but they backdated it for the 1st. So we had to resubmit for a February effective date, and they're screwing and that's OPM. I mean, on a federal retiree benefit structure, it's screwing up like that. But when she called Medicare to verify that they had all the information, they offered to set it up right then and there. And she goes, no, I have an agent that's been taking care of this, and he's been more helpful than everybody I've talked to so far combined. So, I mean, that kind of vocalization of what brokers and stuff are doing, that's where I think if Medicare and CMS actually put in some work to actually put some focus on there, do like secret shopper, send out a damn mass email to everybody on Medicare is, hey, do you work with a broker or agent? Can you tell us their name? Do you have their info? You know, what do you think of them? Do they do this? Do they do that? You know, secret shopper some people and find out who's screwing up, who's dropping the ball, who's doing it. And if they don't have the agent info, it's not that hard to look it up. They've got everything in the system. Figure out who the agent of record is. Oh, well, it turns out that 99.9% of Joe Schmo's clients don't even know his name.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. Couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Yeah. Like, all right, maybe Joe Schmo is now getting cut off from his commissions, or he's losing half of them, or he whatever.
Yeah. Joe Schmo, he couldn't be picked out of a lineup of women. You know? But that's who our, but in reality, that's who our opportunity is too. Those are the people that we're trying to help. Those people trying to find is people that don't have or have somebody, but they're not being treated like they're supposed to be. And that's really where I think your and my mission has been, and why we do this, why we're in this business. At least for me, that's what I think it is. But I've only known you since 1985 or something. So
something like that.
You know, I know a thing or two about Tyler too, and you know me. So that's why we're doing this. But you know, the focus right now should be on retention, number one. So if you haven't already reached out to all your clients, this is the order of how I do it. First thing I do is I reach out to all the clients that made a change or that are new to me. So that means they did an application during AEP. Okay, so check in with all those people. You should check in with them. I mean, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but it's never too late to start. You want to contact them on the 1st of the month that their plan starts. Contact them on the 15th of the month their plan starts. Talk to them on the 1st of the 2nd month, and talk to them on the 1st of the 3rd month. And have personal phone calls. And I would say go so far as to go on a campaign of visiting everybody. This is especially important if you, or it's not important. You have no excuse not to if you're under 1,000 clients. Like once you get to 1,000 clients, I get it. Going to 1,000 houses is a lot. So you have to get more efficient the more people you help. But in the beginning, especially, just like a small company, think of all the small companies you ever worked with over your lifetime that eventually became a big company. There's a big wave of people that are like, they changed once they blank. Once they got big, everything changed and everything. Once they sold, once they whatever, things changed. And so you want to try to hold on to the small company service level, because that's what, if you're a small company and you're in the same space as a big company, how do you compete? Well, you compete by doing things like having better customer service, going more above and beyond than others are willing to, doing things that others aren't willing to do, making the process simpler and easier than others are. Having a unique experience is why people do word of mouth referrals. Holy cow, Tyler, I just got a text message. President Trump wants to meet me.
Sweet. I'm
dropping everything I'm doing. I'm going wherever it is. I'm going. But yeah, so
watching the podcast right now.
Yeah. The finding a way to separate yourself just by 1% from your competition and what they're doing, where you're doing it better, more efficiently, more friendly, faster, something. You got to have some kind of edge that you can lean on so that people have something to talk to others about you about. Because if you're just like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry agent they ever worked with, they're not motivated to say, hey, you should call Tyler. He was exactly like every other agent I ever worked with. I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible. Versus, oh, shit, I helped Tyler. When I was there, I overheard a conversation that he was having with another client where the lady said she never got any more help from anyone else ever. Or what, using those powers that you have to create a unique experience. And like for you and I, Tyler, I know we both have a unique experience. It's similar in some ways, but it's very different in others. But both of us have very strong retention and very strong referral rates.
I think, and I think it comes down to the fact that we're both, it's the same in regard to the underlying structure of it and the purpose behind it.
The purpose, to serve and do what's right for the people.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes the big difference. How it is unique to you, it's what's going to draw clients to you to begin with, right? I'm going to get clients you're not going to get because they don't like you. You're going to get ones that don't want to work with me because they don't like me.
100%.
But that's also what you build your retention off of, is because they like what you're doing.
Well, this is network marketing 101. Why does network marketing work? Because even I was watching a comedian last night and it reminded me of this. But like New York as an example, they call it a melting pot, but there's everything's segregated.
Oh yeah, it's not little China Asian.
It's not like
town.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the suburbia where everybody's living next to everybody. Everybody's segregated. And that's the way it works in everything. And so, if you get it segregated and you get pushed into a category either by yourself or someone else, doesn't mean you have to stay there, right? But when you look at a place like New York, right? The rules and regulations for insurance are different in New York than pretty much every state. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, from every state. Yeah.
Right. And so wherever you are, whatever environment you are, you have to pivot because how you did business while you lived in Colorado isn't the same way that you can be successful in New York. If you're trying to grow your business there.
Especially if you're doing life insurance.
Yeah, you got to be face to face, which is really stupid. So yeah. Anyways, tell me one thing you regret from AEP.
One thing I regret from AEP? I have no idea.
Mine's pretty easy.
What?
Having a heart attack on day 4 was a really dumb way to do that.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
I should have done it like on day 4 after AEP.
Yeah. Or,
or not at all. Or not at all.
I don't know. I think, not really anything that I regret from AEP this year. I don't think. I wish I could have done some things different, but that was all situationally out of my control. So, prep, plan better, done stuff like that. I just, with everything going on with my dad and everything, that threw everything out the door. So I regret not having all the tools and pieces in place that I wanted to have in there. So, if I regret anything, it's that. But man, I've been easy on myself with that one. I gave myself a pass.
Yeah, you should. You got a good boss. So I always tell myself, what a great boss you got.
I always tell my wife what an asshole my boss is.
Yeah. She agrees with that for sure. So let's see. We got a couple of minutes, and then coincidentally, I'm going to go sell some life insurance today. Protect a family from devastation. But yeah. What time am I supposed to be there? 2? All right. Well, we got like 2 minutes then. I'm getting the hell out of here. So I guess my final question for you is, you've obviously hit, what, you got 10 years, 12 years? How long have you been? Feels like forever.
12, 13, something like that. I don't know. I got licensed the end of 11.
Baker's dozen.
No, I officially got licensed at the beginning of 12. I was working in the office, unlicensed, doing all the training and bitch work.
That's a great way to learn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just going in on my time off to put that in.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to like guys like Elias who
Elias called me last night. I got to call him back.
Like, he was an awesome dude. Helped me out and like gave me pointers, did all that stuff anytime he came to the office when I was doing that, just to make sure I got up and running. So
nice. Yeah,
I know.
All right, brother. Well, I look forward to doing it again next week. 12:30 Mountain. Was it 2:30?
2:30 Eastern.
I forget. You're like school's out now. Hot damn.
Yeah, kids have been out of school. I'm so like, I don't know what these backcountry podunk idiots are thinking. They start the kids at school at 7:45 in the morning, and then you get out 2:45 in the afternoon. Like, why? Like, start them at 8:30 and let them get out at 3:30, like a normal school would be. Like,
yeah.
Why so?
They want to make it difficult for parents in the middle of their workday to go pick up their kids.
Oh,
the days of letting your kids walk home. I guess in your town they can walk home.
Well, they bus everybody. They literally offer to bus my kids. I'm like, they can walk here faster than the bus can turn around in the parking lot to come down half a block to get them here.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
All right, brother. Well, I'll see you next week.
We'll talk to you then. Be well in the meantime.
Yeah, you too.
All right.